Alright, let's take a real quick look at a clutch of eggs. This is a clutch. This is clutch number 2, 2011 clutch number 2. Well, let's show you clutch number 1 first. I was out of town when these guys hatched, and so I came back and these guys were all crawling around, and what we got was, there was 7 eggs, and what we got 3 Mojaves and 4 normals, which, you know, you could complain about those odds, but come on, let go. There we go. So, kind of get them separated out there. So these are the Mojaves on this side. These are the normals over here. They're in shed right now. They crawled out while I was out, and they're going into shed now. So got them set up in their little shed box, and we'll get them eating here before too long. Been producing a lot of Mojaves here lately, but anyway, let's look at clutch number 2. This was a really good clutch, so far as I can tell. This was an Enchi to a normal, and these guys started pipping several days ago, and so we went ahead and opened them on up. But there's an Enchi. Let's get some. You can't really see, can you? Let's get him lit here. So that's an Enchi. So we got the 1 Enchi. And what I do is typically once they pip like that and they start breathing on their own, normally I will. This is going to be a little normal, and I may watch this little guy, but he looks like he's doing okay. You can see his umbilicus down in there, and I don't think it's wrapped around him. I think he's just finishing it up. And this was a cat. This was a really cool female. And as you can see, this little snake here, that's going to be a cool looking little snake. So we got that Enchi. Here's another Enchi. There's another Enchi right there. So that's Enchi number 2 right there. And then here's Enchi number 3 down in there. You can't really see that animal, but he's down in there. So there's Enchi number 3. This is a normal, and one of these normals, unfortunately, has a little bit of a jacked up mouth. I believe. Okay. I believe this may be another. So now that we're back, one of the things, one of these animals, I believe it's this snake right here. One of the normals, anyway, has got just a wee bit of a tweaked face. And I was looking at this snake here, and this animal here may actually end up being a low-grade Enchi. We'll have to wait until it comes out and sheds, but this is going to end up being a really nice Enchi right here. I know you probably can't see that too well in there, but it's all tiger striped and banded and all. And so what we ended up with was 1, 2, 3 Enchis and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We ended up with 3, possibly 4 Enchis and 2 or 3 normals, depending on what this animal ends up being. May just be a really light, bright normal. But we'll have to wait and see. As you can see, he doesn't really look like the Enchis in the egg. But he doesn't look like the normals either. So what I typically do is I take these guys, and once they start breathing air like that, I set them up on wet paper towel, and then I put them back in the incubator. You know, once they're breathing air, and here's the reason for that. My little top has holes in it. I use this egg crate stuff to incubate on, And I have had animals stretch themselves out, like come out of the egg. And on vermiculite, if you're just on straight vermiculite, it's not that big of an issue if they take and they come out a little early and they're dragging just a little bit of their yolk sac around, you know, because they'll absorb that and it won't be any big deal. Well, on this grate right here, they come out and they go dragging it around on this, and this stuff's hard, and it's, you know, it gets caught and they're rubbing their belly and stuff on it, and it's just not good for them. So once they pip, I'll take them out of this and I'll put them in a little temporary setup tub, and we'll wait until they hatch, and then that'll be the tub that they stay in until they hatch. Okay, so this clutch right here is on its last few days, and as you can see, they're dimpling real good. And I tried pulling these apart earlier this week, and unfortunately this little egg right here tore at the bottom, and so I wasn't real comfortable going ahead and pulling them apart. So what I'm going to let them do is I'm going to let them pip on their own, and then once they pip, I will go ahead and cut them open and see what we got, and then I'll set them up on moist paper towel like I did those. The one that has the little clip, little hole in the bottom of the egg, he'll be just fine. He doesn't, you know, I'm not worried about that fluid leaking out at that point. But these animals here, these guys are on their last, I don't know, they'll be pipping out here in the next few days. In fact, you can see how easily the eggs are coming apart now. See that? So these guys, they'll be pipping here in the next, oh, you couldn't see that, could you? Anyway, let's show you. These eggs, they're coming apart real easy. This egg here. See, they're just pulling apart real easy. These guys will be pipping here in the next couple of days. So this should be lessers in this clutch. So stay tuned.